Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the Grindcast. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day.
Long-winded. Love that. This is one more that we got on here. What would be the first investment as your kids start to grow up to tell them what they should invest into?
Well, number one would be into themselves. That's the best investment that you could ever make. So I'm going to teach my kids on investing into themselves is the best investment that you can ever make. Books, audiobooks, podcasts, learning seminars, buying somebody's time, mentor, investing into yourself is the place that you want to go. You know, people will invest 30 grand in a minute on Bitcoin, but they won't invest $500 on a seminar that's going to teach them how to be better in their business. Yeah. Or they'll invest $30,000 on the stock market, but they won't invest $1,000 on books, that would give them probably $200,000, $300,000 back from that investment. And so I tell them the investment into themselves would be first. And then into their business. If they end up getting into a business, I would tell them that the next best investment is going to be into your business, and the next best investment is going to be in real estate. And I'm gonna get the kids involved in learning about real estate and stuff at a young age. Like Sienna right now, she's 5. You could already ask her, Perm, next time you're around, ask her, point to this and say, is that commercial real estate or residential real estate? And she'll be able to tell you which one everything is.
We're definitely
5 years old.
For sure. All right. How do you, I'm sure you already know this, but how do you invest into yourself? How do you invest into yourself?
Just went in, over it. But
yeah, you just went over it.
But for me specifically, I invest into myself, books, time. Like I intentionally put a bunch of time into learning and all this stuff. Like this morning, we drove all the way to Youngstown. Mm-hmm. You got up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so did I. Right. So we could go invest into myself by driving an hour that direction, an hour back this direction, crack of dawn to meet with Coach Tressel. Right. So I can pour into myself that way. So I invest all that time, energy, to get there, to get back, whatever, to invest into myself physically, in jiu-jitsu and things. I'll get private lessons sometimes from high-level black belts that will help to tweak certain things in my game. I'm getting older, but I'm not letting it go. I tell people I ain't getting old without a fight, dog. Right. So, you've seen, yesterday I'm getting acupuncture, massages, chiropractic care, things like that to try to keep myself able to do some of these things because I can't recover the same way I used to, in my 20s. So that's an investment. And then like the Maxwell stuff. You know what I mean? I got grandfathered in the first time. They tricked me. You know what I mean? It was a no-cost benefit. Now, I got to pay big money. Big money.
Yeah, I know.
Big money to go to some of these things. But I pay that money because I feel like even though it's a large sum of money, I'm coming back. And by what I'm pouring into my people and pouring into myself, I make that amount of money somewhere way more than what I paid. So those are just some small things that I would say I invest into myself.
Now, go ahead.
Personally.
Now, we can say, have you ever invested into anything large that you lost? Like,
yes.
like what was a good invest? Like a big, maybe something that you was like,
easy come, easy go. When it sounds too good to be true, usually is type deal. Yeah, okay. But I still keep my eyes open. Yeah. To where I don't become that, that person that's afraid. But, I've learned some lessons. I guess I can call it a loss when I bought real estate in 2008 and the market crashed. Mm-hmm. If I would have held on to it to this day, it wouldn't have been a loss. I got rent the whole entire time. It wasn't that wasn't a major loss. The only real major loss I could think of, I took when the market dipped, I've taken losses, but it, came back up over the years, was I got hustled into this water machine. They were doing fracking.
They got you with a water machine?
Brother, fracking, okay? They were doing fracking and this shame on me because I can't even explain what the hell fracking is. But they were doing all of this with the Marcellus Shale and all of this stuff. And I went and saw there was a machine. It was, $250,000 or whatever. And it was supposed to bring in all these revenues if you own this machine and it's on the oil, rig or, or whatever and all that's going on.
Oil, you seen oil, you was like, yeah, I'm doing it.
And it didn't pan out. And I got hustled. I had to go to court. I had to get an attorney. We ended up getting some of the money back. But that was an investment where I took an L in that one. Yeah, nice lesson learned.
What was your best investment to date? On any subject, like anything you ever invested. What is your?
My best investment to date was into myself, putting time into myself, because this is what people don't understand. This is why I love being next to you guys, Giovanni and Perm, because I can't say I was like annoying, arrogant person, but I wasn't like super humble of a person. You know what I'm saying? And I still had to go get the chain.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Recently,
I see you now.
But I think that wasn't easy, especially because I came up in this business and had a bunch of success. Like I murdered this game when I walked in the door, bro. I still keep my numbers in my desk, and nobody's been able in their first 2 years yet to beat the first 2 years numbers.
You still got the spotlight?
Oh yeah, the ones I used to bring down on airs and show you, all excited.
All excited.
But because of my mentors, I got more humble over the years with the success. And I look at, in my second year, I had humility that 23-year-olds didn't have with that success. But when I look at it now at 37, I realize I could have been more humble. I wasn't humble enough. And then when I look at my levels of humility at 26 or 27 with the success I was having, I was humble enough to keep it all and not, overdo it for my age and the success level. But I can look back now and say, man, I probably could have been even a little bit more humble. But I think the consistent open to working on myself to better myself inside, spiritually, physically, mentally, taking criticism, seeking out constructive criticism was a big investment, because who the hell wants you to tell me what I suck at?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to keep it real with me, bro.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm doing good.
Right.
Tell me
All
my
the time.
takedown defense sucks.
Right.
Tell me my
Not
finish.
a yes man all the time.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Tell me you ain't doing good in this area. Tell me that your outfit don't match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep it real with me.
Right.
And so trying to seek out people that would cut me, because everybody wants to be a diamond, nobody wants to get cut. And so I think that investment into myself is and I think the second best investment, man, would be into my people. The time and energy and resources. Just so much time into some of our top people. That was a great investment, because not only did it do good for the business, but I get to watch other people win. Nothing makes me feel better than last night we had a meeting at Matty D's house, and his crib's nicer than mine.
It's nice.
His Bentley's nicer than mine.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
Justin's house that he's building right now is nicer than the one that I'm living in right now. So I love seeing my people doing well and watching Brody buy new whips and do things nice for their parents and all that stuff. So just the return that you get on feeling good from doing that stuff, and then outside of that, it's the real estate. Just my long-term real estate plays that I've made over the years that consistently bring me cash flow right now. Every single quarter, getting big checks from stuff that I did 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah. Those were the good ones, but those ain't the flashy. It ain't the flashy ones that were, I invested $100,000 and I got back $500,000.
Right.
It's like that slow grinded out process that I can count on, that'll be here 20 years from now. That stuff was probably my best investments outside of business stuff.
Like that. Who are the people that invested into you?
The people that invested into me, man, I've had Jim Surace, where I started, who was a youth pastor at the business when I first started in American Income. Him and Marcus Smith. So I had the young partner in Marcus who taught me how to be a savage. Just was all over us, had us there at 7 a.m.
Tell us a little bit how it was like walking in the door on your first day. Because I want to like when your first day walking into that door.
Well, first of all, I look at old videos. My dude, IP sent me a video yesterday, and I'm just embarrassed at the way that I look. First of all, my shirt was baggy, and I had a hand-me-down suit on, you know, from my uncle that's 6 foot tall. You know, I got it him, but it don't look right. And you know, so my first day I came in and I looked back on, I looked a little sloppy. You know, I wasn't used to looking business professional all the time. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I thought I looked great.
Right. At the time, you like, I'm doing it.
And now I know I didn't.
Right.
So
at the time, you probably was doing it.
Nervous though. Super nervous, man, coming in. I had to know the script. I stayed up all night, you know, to make sure I knew the script. Marcus knew that I was nervous, so he threw me a football. He knew I was coming out of college playing football. I held the football while I had to give my script. This is when they were so hard on the script. If you miss even close, you was out. You wasn't going to be in the class. And so that day I just remember being super nervous, but just super excited and feeling competitive and already starting to look and say, man, I was excited because I saw people that I felt like just off of judgment, just off of instinct, just off of street smarts. I'm like, these people are really making some money around here. And then my next thought was, I know I'm going to outwork these people. And if I'm coachable, it's exciting that they're making that much money because I know I'm going to smash them. That was my feeling. All of that in a ball of like nervous, excited, you know, all of that was what it felt like for me in the beginning. But I had Jim Surace that poured into me spiritually that changed my life because I had really no relationship with God at that point, really wasn't even a believer. And it just never would have been. I don't know if it ever would have been a part of my life without a major problem. I don't know. But that changed things because I made a lot of money quick and it never got out of control. Like when I was 24 years old here running a business, you know, I wasn't running the streets. I wasn't in the club every weekend. I wasn't partying every night. And a lot of it was the spiritual grounding and rooting and stuff that I got from Jim Surace and him beating humility into my head. I mean, he kept me humble, always checking me on the humility. And I'm grateful. And I see why he did that to me because not many other people were going to do that to me. And he saw at a young age, like, bro, if you stay humble, this kid can crush it. And if you don't stay humble, he's going to get crushed. And that love that he gave me on humbling me, constantly humbling me, staying humble, on me about it, just checking me on I could see the things he did was just to humble me on purpose, just to keep me humble. So grateful for that. Marcus Smith taught me the business, taught me how to grind, taught me how to rip. Then I had people that trained me in this business. Alex Grakoff was a dude that was I think a Russian Jewish immigrant, or his family was my trainer. Great, thorough, you know, trainer. So a bunch of people that I had that helped me, you know, all the way up a little bit. And then in jiu-jitsu, I had Rodrigo Jinquera here in Pittsburgh. That's where I first started in the gi. Bamboo Wisman in Florida, who you know, and now I got Isaac and a bunch of training partners and people that have poured into me, Mike Linza, Jake, and Dempsey, you know, and stuff. Yep. So a bunch of my dudes, Dylan, you know, a bunch of people helped me in that respect. In marriage, you know, Steve Greer has helped me a lot with marriage. Fred Hadaya. You know, I've gotten around people that have given me good, Jim Surace, you know, marital advice, being a parent, an area that I didn't know how to go down. And that all went back to humility. You know, I feel like so many of the lessons, jiu-jitsu goes back to humility. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you think you're going to get your ass beat, and you got to be humble enough to learn and listen to people. So I think a lot of to wrap this up, because I could go all day on this one. Right. Is when I talk about this, I'm hearing is like, man, the biggest lessons I think I've learned from the people outside of like grinding is to stay humble, is to humble your damn self.
So that's just to stay humble.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. And people think that humility is a lack of it's not lacking. Don't lack confidence.
Correct.
Don't lack confidence. That ain't what I'm saying. So people are like, well, I don't need to be, you know, humble because I need to, you know what I mean? Humility doesn't mean that you lack strength. It's actually strength that's not being loud. It's actually stronger to be humble because it's hard as shit to be humble.
Correct.
You know how hard it is to be humble when you winning? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know how hard it is to show humility when your ass is sitting on $50 million? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's hard as shit to stay humble if you're a good looking guy or girl or, you know what I mean? Whatever. I think humility, if you got it, is strength. because it's easy to not be humble. That don't take a ton of effort. That's weak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The real humility, and then when you go, a lot of people ain't believers, but when you go to the Bible and you go to the Word, it says very simple: those that exalt themselves will be humbled, and those that humble themselves will be exalted. So which one do you want? Do you want to get yourself humbled,
Right.
or do you want to get yourself exalted? And it doesn't mean that you gotta like. We're humble, but we're still showing a Lamborghini on that we're giving away, and people, well, that's not a lack of humility, because how much are we giving? How many times are we picking up kids in the hood? How many kids are we picking up to take and make sure they're getting tutoring? How much money do we give away? You know what I mean? All that type of stuff. So those are the things that keeps you grounded.
Last but not least, mind, body, and spirit. How do you invest into this? Which we already kind of
Scheduling it. Just scheduling it and making it a priority. I see it as brushing your teeth, man.
Every day, all day.
I think the difference is some people look at mind, body, spirit as an option. I look at it like brushing my teeth. So even if I'm in a rush, and I don't feel like it, I still got to brush my teeth, because it's going to stink if not, and my teeth are going to fall out. How I can get new teeth, you know what I mean? But I can't get a new mind in a sense, new brain, new spirit. Like you have to look at yourself as the best investment that you could make. And so scheduling time for yourself is going to make you better in all. It's going to make you more money. It's going to make you a better dad. It's going to make you a better wife. It's going to make you a better thing and all these other things. And so I look at mind, body, spirit, the investment, as it's not an option. It's scheduled. Like I was telling you today, I got up just not on a lot of sleep, but I had to get that done.
Right.
That time is like brushing your teeth or taking a bath or taking a shower or whatever it is, because your mind controls your body. There's a thing in grappling, they talk about where the head goes, the body follows. And so life is that way. Where the head goes, the body follows. And so if your head gets in a bad space, the body follows. And if you don't take care of your mind and understand that it's a muscle, then it gets flabby and weak. And that now you start to make bad decisions, and your body and your life start to follow. The perspective of which you look at things is off, and now your life and your body start to follow. And then, body, everybody's easy to understand. You know what I mean? That aspect. And then spirit, like our body's deteriorating, over time. Like we don't get to take, I don't get to take this cash money chain with me. I don't get to take the Range Rover with me. We die right now. Them sweet glasses you got, those got to stay.
They gotta stay.
But our spirit, I believe, lives on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
In your spirit, my body, it's only so good that I can get. It's only like 20 years from today, I'd like to say I'm going to be doing better physically, but I'm probably not. Right. It's going to probably be harder for me to grapple. You know what I mean? 20 years from today. And so your body's kind of going down, but your mind can always grow. Like at 90, I could be better in my mind than I am at 37. Physically, I'm not going to be better at 90. So people that, when they hear mind, body, spirit, they think it's body, body, body. It's not body, body, body. Body's the least important out of the three. The spirit you can grow, and the spirit walks before you. The spirit will anoint you. The spirit will attract the right things to you. The spirit, sometimes your mind will give up, and your spirit is what got to be there for you when nobody else is there. So I think just, when I hear that, it's just scheduling it, prioritizing it, and making it not an option. And I'm grateful for the time that I got to share with you today, Perm, on another episode of the Grindcast. So thank you for joining us for another episode of the Grindcast. Get ready, it's a new day.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Trying told him I'm a beast, bud.